Hey plant nerds! So it is Sunday, which means it's time for another garden tour on my little micro homestead. I think I just sat on some basil because it smells pretty good right now. But because it is Sunday, I need to show you what's going on. I've been a little bit MIA. It's crazy because everything's going amazing in the garden. Everything's growing a little bit wild. I've also been rereading all the Harry Potters, so I've kind of been doing that and gardening and not shooting garden tours. So, my bad. So if you're new around here, my name's Kiri, and this is my little micro homestead. I'm a Zone 5B, and on this channel, I like to talk about all things micro homesteading and how to become more self-sufficient, growing your own food, reducing your reliance on the grocery store. So if that's your thing, or if you'd like that, or if you're hoping that will be your thing, go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell so you'll know when I post videos in the future. But it really smells like basil here. And let me show you what's changed since you guys were last here. Because there's a lot. There's a lot going on. What you doing, Bacon? Hello. Okay, so one of the first things we need to do is pick some raspberries because I'm doing this every morning. There's not a huge amount of raspberries. Before, like a few years ago, I would have to pick twice a day. They're kind of getting old, so I'm actually probably going to dig them out after the season's done. But until then, we'll pick what we can, so let's go get some raspberries. So I just got this basket. It came with some fruit from the store, and it's like super sturdy, so I decided to keep it and then use it to collect raspberries. There's a few. I had planted some yellow ones, but none of those seem to take, which is upsetting because the yellow ones are my favorite. They're not as tart as the red ones. So, but once this is all cleared out for next year, I'm going to just plant some yellow ones over here. All right. They're pretty. These are pretty big. So, but like I said, not a huge amount, not like there used to be. All right, so I'm just gonna get these all collected and then we'll keep going on with the tour. So the one thing I found out picking raspberries is you have to change your perspective on them. So if I pick to the left first, I'm gonna turn around and pick from the right because the leaves will hide them and then you'll miss them and then the next day they'll be too ripe. So when you're picking raspberries, make sure you pick from all directions. So here we are, raspberry haul. Not huge, but not bad. And then back here we have, starting to get some plants back here. There's the asparagus. I finally dug out part of it. So I'm gonna cut that down. Got some borage I've planted and some hollyhocks and loads of morning glories. The giant sunflowers are starting to get going. This is the pink lemonade blueberries. Haven't had any flowers on that one, but that's okay. There's been flowers on the other ones. I still have this giant parsnip to deal with, but it's so tall. It's like as tall as me. Bacon's doing kicks. What you doing, Bacon? You kicking? Wow. Those are some impressive kicks. Holy cow. Yeah, you good? This is an extended kicking session. Alrighty then. So we still have some of the peas that are blooming, but not much. They don't like the heat, so I'm not expecting much from them right now. They're more just for Bacon because she loves them so much. Let's give her a pea. Bacon, you want a pea? You look like you've been eating grass too. You like a pea? Uh-oh, she dropped a piece. So we have a little blockade here now to keep Bacon out because of the bunnies, which we'll get to in a minute. Here are the beans. I had space at one point. So I stuffed in an extra green zebra tomato because I didn't have any of those planted. Oh, and look at my wood chips. I love the way these look. Look so much nicer than the cardboard. Though the cardboard served a purpose. These are all my beans. Now, funny enough, they're supposed to be bush beans, though I got them in a trade, and this most definitely is not a bush bean. So I'm gonna have to figure out something for a couple over here that I gotta go back and check my notes to see what they are. but that is not a bush bean. So anyways, we'll have to figure out something for that guy. The sad little peppers are actually starting to make a comeback. These were at one point my nicest peppers, and I put them here because I had space and I got them in straight away. But then they looked sad for the longest time. But this guy's doing pretty good. Still getting eaten by something. I think it's slugs, but some carrots here that I overwintered. I'll do a separate video on that, on saving seeds. There is the rest of the blueberries back there. I also have some Cosmo and some Canterbury bells and some more that's blue borage there in the front, and I put in some calendula. So just one thing I want to mention. This time of year, actually it's getting a little bit late, but this time of year is when a lot of the nurseries are wrapping up for the season, or especially the ones that are set up in the grocery stores, and they have a lot of their stuff on discount. So one of the things that I absolutely love to do, especially to enhance my permaculture, which is kind of all at the back, is to grab berry bushes and stuff like that when they're on a discount. So the blueberry bushes were like 25 bucks originally, and then I got the last few that I grabbed for like $12. So it's just a great way to get stuff that's going to give you food year over year at a discounted price. So I also grabbed a purple Cherokee tomato, because I didn't have any of those purple Cherokee, I can't remember, but I grabbed one of those for like 75 cents. So, and I'll just save the seeds and then I'll have them for next year. So definitely go scope out the nurseries that are closing down and get some discounted permaculture, because food that comes back every year, you need to have that in your garden. All around the outside of my garden, with the exception of that fence, but all back there and all over there, that's all pretty much permaculture. So all my berries are around the edges, and just year after year I get more food. So go find discount permaculture. All right, so over here, the potatoes are growing very nicely. I actually had on one of these, if I can find it, all varieties of potatoes are going to flower. The tubers production starts around when the flowers are there, and then you can harvest them. I usually go, they'll give you timelines like 2 to 4 weeks afterwards, but I look for signs on the plant. So when the bottom leaves are all starting to go yellow and the plants are dying down, that's when I'll kind of know that it's almost time. Then once the plants have died down, I'll usually leave them for about 2 more weeks, just to let the skins thicken up. But if you want new potatoes, then you can harvest them sooner. But one thing I want to point out, sometimes you will get this berry-like thing on your potato flowers. These guys are poisonous, so don't mess with those. All right, here we have my horseradish. I really need to do some horseradish this year. This thing's been growing. It's been moved. It's on some patio stones because the dang thing already grew into the ground and started taking over where it was before, so we can't have that. These are my determinate tomatoes. There's a Paul Robeson over there, actually, which is not a determinate. So we have these are my determinate tomatoes. We have the field of basil. I wish you guys could try this. This is the lime basil. It's my first time growing it. And they're not joking. When you put that in your mouth, all you taste is lime. It's so cool. I have some lettuce leaf basil, the Genovese, some Thai basil, some purple basil, some volunteer tomatoes, and those teeny tiny little guys over there are the Thai holy. These are more of my determinates. Two San Marsanos on this end, and over here, these are from Row 7 Seeds. They're the Midnight Romas. They just look beautiful, so I can't wait to try those and make some sauce. They're doing really well. And then here we have the garlic, which I've already cut off all the scapes and used those to make some garlic mashed potatoes. And the leaves are starting to die off. So when those die, when I see more that are dying off than are green, then I'm going to harvest these. I had a little peek and the bulbs seem really good, so I'm super excited. In there, where you see that wool, that is where my baby bunnies are. So I had put a little bit of the wool across, like in a straight line, just so I can make sure the mom was coming back. We've had some crazy rains, and I was so worried about them, but she keeps coming back, and actually yesterday was kind of cool. So yesterday night when I came out to do some gardening, and watering. So I was fitting some stuff back onto, like weaving it into the raised cattle panels. And I was standing right there, but looking back this way, just completely minding my own business. And I was looking at the garlic, and then I happened to look down and I see this big eyeball, and there's mom there, and there's like babies hanging off of her teats, and she's feeding them. And I was like panicked, frozen, because I don't want to scare her away. I don't care if she eats some of my vegetables, that's fine, or the babies, because they're freaking adorable. So I backed away slowly. Anyways, it was super cute. So there's some lettuce there, which I'm sure the babies will start to enjoy as soon as they get out. That is a mystery. So everything I had planted along the cattle panel was supposed to be growing vertically. That looks an awful lot like a zucchini. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. I thought it was the 7082 experimental cucumber from row 7 seeds, but I may have made a mistake because that thing is ginormous. But anyways, it's giving shelter to the baby bunnies. And then we have my onions. These are some bunching onions. I used them last night when we made fancy tacos for dinner. Beetroots, more volunteer tomatoes. I think these are the blueberry or blueberry cream or something like that from Baker Creek, but I'm not sure, so we'll have to see. This is my tromboncini squash. Well, actually, it's center cut squash from row 7 seeds, which is a cross between, I believe, a zucchini and a tromboncini. So my first time growing that. And then I can't remember if I said it, the beetroots. There's our raspberry haul. We'll go back over here. So some of these, some peas still up here, but not much going on. I'm probably going to take those out soon. I'll probably plant them again for fall, but we'll give those a rest for now. This is the hubby's favorite. This is the sunrise bumblebee. They are absolutely delicious. And then there's a bacon. No peas right now, baby. And then this one here is the bumblebee. And I have on it here one of these little blossom bags. So because I got this in a trade, I only had a few seeds. So I got these little bags from the dollar store, and they're in the bridal section. And I just put it on because tomatoes are self-pollinating. Just put this on and come and just give it a little jiggle. Even on this branch here. So there's one here I didn't get in the bag that has already formed, but I can't trust that the seeds are not cross-pollinated. So I'll wait until these ones start showing tomatoes, and then I'll put a little ribbon on it and know that those are the ones I have to save seeds from. Here we have my orange peach. This is my first time growing this one. The skin is supposed to be fuzzy and it has a slightly peachy flavor, so we'll see how that goes. I've given them a really good pruning. I like to prune, well, this one got away from me, but I like to have them down to a single stem and keep the bottom 2 feet clear, just to allow for air circulation. And this leaf I'll probably prune off too. Anything that's getting too close to the ground, where if it rains, oh, and there's a weed, where the water can splash back up, we don't want that because that can spread disease. So I have to take that off in a minute. This one is the pineapple. I have to probably save some seeds off this one too, actually, so I'm gonna have to go get another blossom bag. I'll probably capture those guys right there. Oh, actually, there's a bunch of them up here, so we'll get a blossom bag on those. This one was another one I got in a trade, so we have another blossom bag. This one is a Dr. Wychie. I've never grown this before, but a lot of people talk about it, so I'm gonna give that one a try. Has some very late jalapenos I started, and nasturtiums everywhere. I'll show you some of my beautiful variegated ones in a minute. Pink celery, which I don't love. I tried. Not gonna grow that again. This is a rondinise zucchini, and this one, look at that bad boy. This is, I can never remember if it's the costata or the cocozelli, but that thing I know is ginormous, but that is done on purpose. So I pollinated this one myself. If you want to know how to pollinate squash, it's super easy. I'll put a link up above to my video on how to pollinate squash. But again, this was another one I got in an exchange, so I needed to save seeds. So I pollinated it, tied the flower shut, and now I'm just waiting for that to reach maturity, because we eat zucchini and any of the summer squash when they're not mature. They will get really big and hard like a winter squash, and then they're fully mature and you can save the seeds, which is what I'm doing with that guy. The Battle Royale pit is doing well. The chives so far seem to be losing, so they're going down there. Oregano is doing well. The mint is amazing. And there's still a bit of lemon balm here. So we'll see how that goes. This is a Black Beauty zucchini. There's not too much on that. There was a couple flowers. I was pollinating that yesterday. My loofah is not going to be doing anything. And my Kelly-Bos cabbage. So this has completely transformed. This is where the old deck used to be. And there was just gravel and thistles and everything. So just lots of cardboard and all my compost and a bit of time. And I still have to go back. I'm still fighting with the thistle, but we're doing good so far. Beautiful black pepper, some pineapple ground cherries. I have never grown these before. No, those do. This is my Cherokee purple that I got on discount. So I need to get a blossom bag on this guy. But I was waiting for there to be a couple more flowers. So we let him get a little bit bigger and then save some of his seeds. Another row 7, this is the Kochi nut squash. More of the nasturtiums. This is another row 7, it's the Tetra squash. We have buttercup over here, which is going everywhere. Well, I mean, all the squash are. This desperately needs a stand. I'm gonna have to go get something to prop this guy up. This is the black brandywine. And then this one, this bed's a little more, I kind of know what's in here, but not quite. So there was a sugar pumpkin in here. And then I did have some extra acorn squash, which I stuffed in. Plus some sweet dumpling, all of which are just kind of here. That is a green verissage tomato, I believe, which also needs a blossom bag. Some celery, and this one is a red curry squash, another one of the giant sunflowers. There's 2 more of the red curry squash here, and then I'll just keep kind of encouraging that guy to grow up. This one, I don't even know what that one is. Oh, that's the green verissage. So what the heck is this one? Oh, that's the black verissage. Okay. And then this one, I think was a pineapple. This guy was taken from a sucker, and he's doing great. There's also some pole beans in there. And then this is my patty pan squash. It's my first time growing that. And then over here we have the white scallop squash. That one I have grown for a few years, and I like that. And over here, this one I'm so excited about. So this one is a moringa pumpkin that I also got in a trade, and it is used apparently in Brazil to make a shrimp dish. I cannot remember what it's called. I will put it on the screen, and it looks absolutely delicious. So I'm hoping I get a pumpkin and can make that. Look at these variegated leaves. I am such a sucker for a variegated leaf. Another of the giant sunflowers, and then we have my Sharon melon, which I absolutely adore. I grew that inside hydroponically. I will put a link up. I'll put a link up above to how I grew that. And then there is a golden watermelon over there. The golden midget watermelon. So still not a huge amount growing up. But it's starting. Over here, there's a lot more. I can't wait till it gets all the way up. But there's the baby, if we can focus. There's the baby tromboncino. And then these guys are insane. So this was 2 mouse melons, or cucamelons that I planted here. I don't even know if there's any bigger ones to show you guys, because I've been eating them. Well, there's one starting to form, but they're little tiny. They're also called a Mexican sour gherkin, and they're a bit sour, but they taste like a cucumber. But they're insane, like literally insane. So we've also got some pole beans that are starting to grow up. This was the Chinese noodle beans and the Old Homestead pole beans that I saved from my own garden last year. And this is my Kajari melon. So I have been focused on getting a Kajari melon for so long. I have one starting back in there. I can even see that. So I have one over in there. So there's one starting over there. And these are from a trade as well. Like, it seems like everything in my garden. I don't even know if I like Kajari melons, but I want to try it. So growing those, and then these tiny little guys here are the rich sweetness melon. And then we have the wall of tomatoes. Over here, we have a bit more asparagus that I started, and this is a Paul Robeson tomato, which I'm super excited to try because people are saying it's like one of the best. And this one is crazy. So this is my first time. This is Brad's Crazy Cherry. And there's why there's dirt on the leaves, I don't know. So this is Brad's Crazy Cherry. I started counting the amount of flowers on here. I stopped at 60. So it's a multiflora. They're just everywhere. I can't believe this thing. So I'm super excited to see. Hopefully I like it because there's an awful lot of them. Another one, this was my discount blueberry. And then we have a Lucky Tiger tomato. They're a green, very pointy. My Black Beauties. I need to save seeds from these guys this year. Still a couple more Bone Soldiers. This is the gray asparagus is in the way. This is the gray poppy. I can't wait to get that in the ground. Just trying to find a spot. It's gonna go over there somewhere. This is the spoon tomato. It was very fiddly to get going, very dainty, but it's going okay now. This one is the Napa cherries, and then I have my Brad's Atomic. I need to save seeds. The other thing I have to pick is black currants, because this thing is absolutely loaded. I think I'm gonna try and make some blackcurrant jelly and maybe some wine. The gooseberries are looking very, very sad down there. I think there was like 2 on it. What you doing? Being bacon? All the dwarf tomatoes are growing amazing. I have blossom bags out here. Sweet peppers doing good. I have just the tiniest bit of variegation on my candy cane pepper. And then all these sweet peppers. One of the Chinese eggplant. And then of course more of the giant sunflowers, because you can never have any of those. Some more basil. And if you see this right here, so you know how I was talking about discount stuff at the stores or at the nurseries? Well, they had a bag of potatoes for $1.99. So I did what any of you plant nerds would do. I bought them, and then I tried to find somewhere to stuff them, and the only place was out front. So I'm sure this is probably gonna go horribly wrong, but out front, because I had just built this bed, it was all aged mushroom compost, which should be really good for the potatoes, and so this is where they ended up. So we'll see how this plays out, because it's gonna be a shit show. These are all the hot peppers, which we have the Currants. I have lots of, I think that one's the Serrano. Oh, we've got a tomato. Very cool. Over here, we have the lavender, which is just so pretty and smells amazing. Some chives, my sad, sad little blueberry bush. One of the Granny Cantrell tomatoes. Some sage. Blackberries, lots of these guys. The pine berries are coming along. They're getting established. Very slow, but we got about 5 that survived. And then these guys, holy cow. These are the red alpine strawberries from Baker Creek. I need a field of these things. They're super tiny. They're like much smaller than a normal strawberry, but those things taste incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys the grapes. This is the other strawberry patch. Oh, we've got some on here too. These are After having those red alpines, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Rhubarb herb getting strong. Oh, looks like some of the grapes have fallen over. Look at those. I have grapes. So that's pretty much it for today's garden tour. Not really gonna go inside, there's not much going on. I still have to set up the big rise garden. So the personal rise garden is due for cleaning, so I need to do that. There's no more of the seedlings in the basement because everything's pretty much out here. So I will wrap this up for today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I think I'm gonna switch these things to doing them once a month just because there's so much going on out in the garden right now. So if you like that, go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell so you know when I post videos in the future. And if you like this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up because YouTube loves that and then it helps me reach more people. So until next time, don't forget to enjoy the little things and go out there and make food grow. Bye guys.